So welcome to my YouTube channel, and I hope you can share your experience so that it can help others. So, okay, then can you introduce yourself first?
Yeah, thank you, Amlesh. First of all, thank you so much for sending this through and the invitation. I'm actually happy to be here. Yeah, and so my name is Bhagyashree Senapati, and I'm a postdoctoral research scientist at University of Oxford now, and yeah, in the UK. And I did my PhD in Taiwan, and yeah, basically I'm from India, Bhubaneswar, Odisha. So yeah.
Okay. So now you are working on, research scientist, right? What is the name?
Yeah, postdoctoral research scientist.
Okay.
Postdoc.
So what is your research domain?
So yeah, so I work on neuroscience. It's a behavioral neuroscience. So obviously neuroscience has so many branches, clinical neuroscience, non-clinical and other stuff. So my work is basically basic research and especially behavior. Like what, so like very simply, if I could say, it would be the research like what's the neuron representation in the brain for a specific behavior. Suppose I am talking now, I'm happy, or you are happy, or
Mm.
we are having this conversation. So what there are some brain representations. So basically that's most broadly I could say like behavioral neuroscience. And obviously we can't handle human being for doing that, and we are using Drosophila melanogaster, the fruit fly. I'm sure all of you, I mean all the viewers, and obviously you also know. So basically when you left something in the kitchen and in the morning there's small insect they came across, so those are actually fruit flies. So I'm working on them, obviously a specific genotype and stuff, but yeah. So just because their neural complexities, they are complex, but actually, at least as compared to human being, they are simple. And we could encode and we could decode the information. That's the whole idea of doing the research in fruit fly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we would like to know your education in India, and after that, how did you get to know about the TIGP?
Yeah, sure. So I am from basically from Bhubaneswar, Odisha, but my schooling and everything was in Khordha district, but it is in Tangi. I mean Tangi and Chandpur. I don't know how many people know, but then we moved to Bhubaneswar now because we stay there. And my BSc Bachelor was from Mid School of Biotechnology, affiliated with Utkal University, again Bhubaneswar. And then I did my master degree from NIT Rourkela, which is the National Institute of Technology. I am sure people know.
Mm.
And there actually, because master in India is 2 years, especially in NIT. So at the second year, we had this research, actual research course for 6 months. And then I chose a lab. Like we had this rule to choose the lab inside the home, like inside the home school. I mean, basically it's NIT. And Professor Suman Jha, he was one of the, I mean, he was actually my thesis advisor during my master. So sir actually told me, it was very, I never planned for any application in Taiwan. To be honest, yeah, I was applying for Germany and a few applications, and then he actually told me that there is some such course, and if you're really interested and are keen to do research in outside of India, it seems like a great place. It was a nice place, and I thought, okay. And then I started googling what was this, like was Taiwan, and then I find it okay. It seems like promising, so I just applied. So it was so basically the idea of getting the information about Taiwan, it happened just because of my professor. I think he knew because he just wrote a recommendation letter for somebody. So he knew that there is such system in Taiwan, and
Mm.
he just asked me to apply. That's how I got into know
So
about
you
Taiwan.
applied only in TIGP and only in
No,
Taiwan.
no, I applied in others also. Like I applied in Germany, and I couldn't get many offer because I applied three places. I mean, foreign, if I count, like Taiwan, one is Munich. So I got the information in both Taiwan and there. So, but in the system there, the stipend was a bit more complicated in the way that there 50% is coming from the university, 50% your course, basically your thesis advisor. So that time I couldn't able to handle this. I was like, this is not straightforward. Okay, let's go to Taiwan because it's so straightforward. At least the money is coming one side. That was like, yeah, that then I think I was naive, I would say. But I think, yeah. So that's something I feel like, no, this is sounds so complicated. So only two places I got into. And I applied 3 places. So yeah,
So
didn't
now,
apply much.
so do you now, I mean, you think your decision was correct, or you regret it, or you thought, "No, okay, I would have been in Germany," or is there any thought like,
No. Actually, I think I'm really happy. I'm really grateful that I came across to this Taiwan, and I think my research experience, everything just the things happen and their whole life was just flipped to the up and down. That's exactly what happened to me. So I have no regret. Instead, I'm really happy that I did the decision. That was my best decision ever, I think. Although there's a lot of people who was hindering, like, no, but I mean, it was difficult for me to convince my parents and convince everybody that no, it's all good, safe country and stuff. But I think I'm really happy that I did this. Yeah, sure.
so how was your PhD life in TIGP, right?
Yeah, so
And how long
PhD,
PhD
yeah,
takes? How long PhD takes usually? And for you, how long does it take? PhD
yeah,
duration?
I think when people ask me this question, obviously, PhD is not a journey of yourself. It's not about how smart you are. It's not about your thing. I think people say, oh, this is my thing, but I think it's a lot of other factors involved, right? Your PI, your research, your skill, and your troubleshooting. I think this is something we all should emphasize, troubleshooting. And also yeah, I mean, there's ups and downs, like in the research in general. It's not about only PhD. Still today, I think I go through these things, ups and downs is there. So I mean, long story short, it would be, I would say, my experience was really great. It was a really learning curve for me because it started quite yeah, initially it was really difficult for me because I went to Taiwan to do protein biology, that because my master was in protein biology. So
Mm.
and then all of a sudden I see Professor Suelin's he's really being instrumental to my life, I would say. And then I saw his lab and website. I was like, he was a very new PI by the time, and I thought, okay, let me do a third rotation. So I was in MCB, molecular cell biology program. So in Taiwan, actually, in Academia Sinica I was there. So, but in Academia Sinica, there are few programs, and not all of programs have this similar selection procedure, I would say. So for the MCB, it was like first there's 2 rounds. So I also went through the interview. I'm sure many people know this, but after that, I was so sure that I'm gonna do the protein biology, like protein structure or something. My first rotation, my second rotation were there, and the third rotation, I just out of curiosity, like exactly out of curiosity, I went there, and I just somehow I clicked to the environment, I clicked to the science they do, and it was very new for me. Maybe that's why something I really get into this thing, because I feel like it's when you feel like you really know nothing and you just start from zero, from scratch. I think then ultimately you're going to put a lot of your effort and you read a lot and stuff. So that happened. But I mean, it was never a journey which, like, okay, it was very smooth. It is never. So initially it took me quite a time to understand how research happened, because before that I just know that I was a good student, but that's not enough. That's never enough. And the fundamental concept is like being a good student, being good researcher. That is two separate things.
Mm.
And so I think that's something I learned a lot, because in India during master, when I did my master, it was not a very exposed to a lot of research things. So that's something I got to know from Taiwan.